Hi, and thank you for joining me here at the RHOBH Report. We're going to delve right into it, but before we do, let me just mention, if you want to be notified every time we put new content out, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit the like button. Most important one is the subscribe button because that'll get it up in your feed for your viewing pleasure. Thank you so much. Okay, quick little thing I want to jump into today is Below Deck. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago when they came out with the new season. Thought it was thought they may have made a mistake by bringing Gary and Daisy back. They were the face of some pretty cringeworthy stuff last year. And one of the best things about the Below Deck franchise is you really do usually have this steady influx of new faces. You don't get a bunch of cast members that are just know how to play to the camera, knows what the camera wants to see, and indulges this kind of inauthentic behavior. So it's watchable. It's good. Daisy and Gary seem to have calmed down some of the antics that they were indulging in the last couple of seasons. They're very much coming across as the senior members of the crew, more mature, kind of guiding the younger ones. But still, I think the producers made a mistake with bringing them back. And so anyway, the drama this season is there's a third mate, a very pretty girl, fabulous figure, who is woefully unqualified to be a mate on this boat. And poor Gary has got to be running around really doing his job and her job. And she's very smart. She's very intelligent. So every time Gary confronts her about them, confront is not even the word. He's really using kid gloves with her. Every time he criticizes her about something or tells her that she hasn't done this right, and she needs to do X, Y, Z. Boy, she's got an answer. She zooms right back at him, and this is the first challenge Gary really has had where he needs to, or at least that's the last one I'm sure he's had. That's usually a position that gives a lot of trouble, just like the third stew. But it's just interesting to see. I wonder if she's going to last the season because she really is unqualified and she doesn't take guidance from a boss. And she's a danger then. So anyway, interesting to watch. The other interesting to watch, we always love to see if the chef is going to live up to it. Well, this year, on this season of Below Deck Sailing, we have a young guy, 22 years old, but if half of the bona fides he's given as to his accomplishments at 22, he is quite a good chef. He just thinks he knows it all, as so many, young 20-somethings who are just having a taste of success in the world think they are. And Daisy had to pull him out and tell him what he was doing wrong and how he was not giving the level of service that people who are on these or who lease these boats for those cruises expect from him. So he looked like he wasn't taking that criticism. Again, he was like the third mate who argues with Gary. He tried to argue with Daisy, but he listened to her, and he put in an incredible display. I've never seen any other chef that I can remember that really did the precision that this guy did on that meal that he made for this particular primary and his or her their guests, and it was interesting to watch. So this year's chef, he's young, he's 22, but he's uber talented, and if he gets kicked in the butt, he makes it happen. So for that alone, that is a good reason to keep in touch with what's going on with the Below Deck Sailing crew. And next week episode looks like we've got some real-time drama where we see what Gary's value is to the boat. He sees what the danger is immediately. You'll see it. There's an impending crash. between their boat and another smaller boat. Apparently they're too close together or something. So can't wait to see what actually happens. So let's dive into the big stuff. The big stuff that happened. We had the premiere of Beverly Hills. And boy, oh boy, we have the ascendancy of Dorit. She is, I don't know why. We don't know what happened behind the scenes with her and Kyle, but she is not, she's going after Kyle. She won't allow Kyle to do whatever she perceives Kyle has been doing over the years, which is all the behind the scenes manipulation. Of course, we saw what Kyle, although I always thought that Erica Jayne was the real aggressor against LVP. It was born of a jealousy that emanated from Kyle because Kyle perceived that she should be the star of the show. And obviously LVP was a fan favorite. So they mounted this massive campaign. All the women got together in force and went after LVP to the point that LVP said, listen, I don't need this. I'm a successful businesswoman. I have restaurants all over the world. Clearly, I can dump this. And she has, and she's gone on to even bigger and greater things. So Dorit is perceiving, or something has made Dorit understand that Kyle is a big time behind the scenes manipulator, and she's not putting up with it this year. She's also, which all of us know, she's announced her separation from PK. She's attributing it to alcohol. Indeed, PK has had it out there now for probably a good 6-7 months that he's been sober, maybe even 8 months. He's been sober, and I hope they work it out because, there's young kids involved here. Come on, guys, there's young kids involved here. So hopefully they will work it out because PK is kind of my favorite. I did like the fact that, I think I mentioned it in the last installment, that I like the fact that when Jayne first came on the program, or Dorit first came on the program, he butted heads with the haughtiness of Erica Jayne, who was insufferable her first couple of years. She was insufferable until she, of course, was knocked down 10 or 20 pegs. So anyway, yeah. We open up with Dorit having a meeting with Erica Jayne. I'll get to that in a minute. Who she announces that she and PK are separating, and she wanted Erica to know before it hit the news. And they have a nice little conversation, including we get a lot of schmizing from Dorit, which to me is one of the most inauthentic things you can do, which is you smile with your eyes as the other person's talking. I don't know if I'm able to recreate a true schmize, but we had a lot of smizing going on. And Erica, strangely, of course, her glam squad has changed dramatically since she's in charge of her finances, and good for her. She still lives in an uber exclusive area in Beverly Hills, albeit a very tiny square footage compared to what she did have up there in Pasadena, where it sometimes snows, as we know. And she's got a different glam squad. Well, this glam squad for this particular scene with Dorit has, strangely, have overpainted her lips. She overpainted it in the middle here for some strange reason, and also a little bit on the side. So she kind of looked like the Joker a little bit. So there's adjustments that need to be done with Erica's glam squad. Not sure if, okay, very good. We got the schmize, we got the Erica. Now we go on to Sutton and Jennifer Tilly. Now, you may say to yourself, Well, first of all, Sutton's estimated worth is $50 million. And she, in addition to that, I guess since some of the kids are still under 18, she gets 350,000. Is it 350,000 a month? It can't be 350,000 a month. Yeah, times 10, it could be. $350,000 a month. So, unless Sutton is very stupid, she is always going to be on Easy Street with a strangely configured home. They did a drone shot of the footprint of her house. It still makes no sense to me. I don't know what's going on there. There are wings sticking out, jutting out. There's, let's put it this way, there's no Georgian or Palladian elegance in that home. It's a mishmash. It almost looks like they had like three different houses that they squished together with connecting walkways. It's strange looking. But anyway, she's loaded. We've got that. The other uber loaded one on the show, of course, is Kathy Hilton, who's 350 million allegedly. So you say to yourself, well, where does Jennifer Tilly come in here? Well, apparently Jennifer Tilly was married to one of the creators of The Simpsons, and even though that they were divorced and he has since passed away, she got from his estate 30% of his Simpson money. So you've got to think, and there's no dollar amount on that. We don't know what the dollar amount it is, but we've got to figure it is significant. It is significant. So that's why she and Sutton hang out all the time, and go on their travels and their trips, and they're buying couture, and any way you slice it. I mean, poor Sutton. She can buy all the couture in the world she wants, but she's still going to have those very, very thin legs with no muscles on them whatsoever. She should never wear a short skirt or a skirt that exposes her legs above the ankles. I thought that was interesting about Jennifer Tilly, why she has so much money. In addition, she's a professional poker player with winnings. The figure I saw online was $1 million, which in the world of professional poker players, I don't think is a very significant player. She's not up there with the big dogs, but she's in there somewhere with the dogs. So Simpson money, poker player. That's why she's running around with Sutton. Now, the interesting one, I can't wait to see more about this lady, is this Boz St. John. I did look up her bona fides, and she was the chief marketing officer for Netflix, for Uber, Apple, iTunes. So why so many different ones? I don't know. Over the course of how many years, I don't know. But clearly, she is going to be somebody to watch. And according to also what I read, she and Sutton get thick as thieves. So I think the power dynamic is shifting in a very big way away from Kyle Richards. I will tell you, this is my dream of what I want the last scene of the last episode of this season to be. Tell me, tell me if you agree. We see Dorit walk up and approach a door. We don't know whose door it is, and we see her reach out and knock on that door. We can't tell who she's calling upon. The door opens, and it's LVP. She's going to apologize because she's figured out who was behind the LVP takedown, and she surmises that it was Kyle. That's my dream. I don't know if they'll do it. We'll see what the producers have to say. So anyway, we're going to watch the new girl, the new lady, Boz St. John. She looks very interesting. We're going to watch that power shift. We're going to see Dorit with her cigarette as she drives along. Just taking some ownership, taking some real power. It's going to be very interesting to watch. Okay, RHONY. Going to give a little bit here on the RHONY. The prank was really bad. It was really creepy. I think Aaron's made a big mistake. And, let me give you a full disclosure here. One of the things that I watch on YouTube all the time is there is this whole community of ex-Scientologists, and I think I've mentioned this before, second generation Scientologists. In other words, kids brought up in Scientology. And from everything, I think this Rebecca Minkoff is a second generation because her father is very dialed up in the upper echelons of Scientology. He's a physician. And he was involved in a very controversial, I think the name of the parishioner was Lisa McPherson, somebody who had some mental issues who Dr. Minkoff was treating. They wouldn't let her, he wouldn't allow her to get real psychiatric help because the Scientologists don't believe in psychiatrists for some reason. They think they have something to do with Thetans, which are the evil gremlins. It's look into it. It's very detailed. The particulars of their religious canon. And so long story short, this Lisa McPherson passed away. She died, and there's the Scientology movement. I think this was down in Florida. Was under a lot of scrutiny about the death of Lisa McPherson, of which Rebecca Minkoff's father was deeply involved. So anyway, Minkoff is still a Scientologist. And because I watch all these, it's called SPTV. Scientology has all these acronyms and the names that they call people. Well, since, and one of them is SP, like when Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise divorced, the reason Tom Cruise convinced his children to disconnect from their mother was because she was an SP, which I think stands for suppressive personality. So anyway, this whole community on YouTube, SPTV, I listen to it all the time. I find it fascinating. And they're also infighting with each other. There are different divisions of the ex-Scientologists. This one hates that one, and this one. It's fascinating to me. So when they're using this term pigeon, they wanted to expose the pigeon. I looked up GPT chat. Is pigeon a derogatory term in Scientology? And indeed it is. Just like when people try to leave Scientology and they are harassed and they do all these fair gaming and they, try to get people to lose their jobs and have no money. It's called, that person is called a squirrel. I mean, they have all these names that they call people. So obviously a pigeon is something in Scientology that Rebecca wanted to expose. And the way she exposed it, she and Aaron came up with this stupid prank, which was executed horribly because they told everybody that it was a prank. Even their target of the prank, which was the annoying Cupid doll Bryn, who says, I want to have everything that I want about Bryn. Boy, oh boy, can that girl dress. All of her outfits in this week's episode were stunning. Perfect for her figure, perfect for her age, perfect for everything. This girl knows how. Somebody's dressing this girl, and they know what they're doing, and she looks fabulous. So, annoying Cupid doll, yes. Fantastic dresser, also yes. So, yeah, a lot of creepiness going on, I think, with this Minkoff. And I don't know if she'll last 2 seasons. We'll see. We will see. I got to give it to Jenna Lyons. There were a couple of scenes where she looked fabulous. Her makeup was perfect. Her clothes were perfect. Everything was good. These are people who can afford to dress. And obviously, they run in those circles. They know what they're doing, and they've got great advice, and they listen to it and they take it. So New York was really kind of centered around the prank and what the repercussions were of the prank. It was nice to see them not succeed in ruining Bryn's friendship with some of the other women. And it remains to be seen how else they're going to be handling things. So let's just go on to odds and ends real quick. Only have one odd and end, and that is I am hearing the rumor that Dubai has been canceled. Thank goodness. Now, let's please get Stanberry on a plane, get her back to London, because we also heard the rumor that there's going to be a Real Housewives of London, and we can only hope that Madame Stansberry will be there with Sergio in tow. So, thank you so much for tuning in today. Really enjoy doing these things. So if you like, please hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. And I will see you here next time on the O'Rourke Report.